Hello everyone, welcome to this new video. One of my followers had some specific questions about how to program certain things in Babyware, so I'm going to answer those questions in this video. I usually don't do this, but I thought they might be of use for someone else, so let's go ahead and take a look. So his first question was how to program users in Babyware. So I already have Babyware open, so you see here the users button, so you click on it, and then here you can see your list of users up to the number of users supported by your panel. So because I have an SP6000, it supports up to 32 users. So the first 3 users are typically some sort of master codes, so you don't want to use those for someone who does not need access to everything on the panel. As you know, the master code has privileges to set up users or delete users, so you don't want to give this to anybody. So here you can change your master code and say 1111 or whatever. I'm gonna leave it as it is, and then I can, let's say, put 2, 3, 4, 5 for my next user, and then you can grant them. These are the permissions that can be granted to the user as needed. So if you have 2 partitions, you can assign them. You can give them access to partition 1 or area as it's labeled here. So area 1 and area 2, or area 2 only, or area 1 only, depending on what you need. You can give them bypass privileges. So if something is wrong on the panel, something is wrong on a certain zone, and you want to bypass it until it's fixed, he wants to bypass it until it's fixed, you can allow them this access. Can give them access to stay and sleep arming, force arming, even to only arm the system but not disarm, to activate a PGM if you have one, or you can check this box if you want that user to be a duress code. So if there's a hold up and you want to notify the police, this will send an alarm to the police, like they will use that code as if they were arming or disarming, but it will send a duress signal. So be careful with this option. So there's no way to automate to import, to bulk import. So if you have an Evo 192 and you have hundreds of users and you want to import them in bulk, unfortunately you cannot do that. The users have to be entered by one. Also, something interesting here, you can set your panel to support 6-digit codes or 4-digit codes. Typically it's 4 digits, but it's up to you. Here is your installer code. So if you have an installer code, nobody can, like the end user cannot get another company, for example, to take over your panel without your knowledge. So normally you should have some code here, and then you should have 147 to lock the installer code, so you cannot make a change to the programming without the installer code. You can also lock the master code, but if you do that, the end user will not be able to change the master code. So use these options carefully. Here, if you have a remote, obviously you need an RTX3 for that. If you have a remote, you can program the remote here. This is the serial number on the back of the remote, so you would enter it here. The programming remotes doesn't really need, like, you don't really have to use Babyware. You can do it from the keypad also, but this is where you would do it if you wanted to do it from Babyware. So I'm going to cancel this. The next question was programming zones. It's a little bit of a complicated subject, so I'm going to just go over the normal settings that we would normally use, or the typical settings that we normally use, at least in my case. So you right click on the panel, you click properties, and then you go to zones, and these are the list of zones. These are your zone numbers. So here obviously the first 8 are the ones on the panel. Again, the SP6000 supports 8 zones, and this one is actually on the keypad. If you have devices connected to the bus line, you will see them here, listed here. So you would select the serial number of the device. So this is the serial number of my K10H keypad, and then you would select the zone type from here. So normally when you're with a keypad, it's going to be either a motion detector near the keypad, or the front door. So usually it's either entry delay or instant, or follow. So it's up to you, but you don't have to use it, of course. So going back to the zones on the keypad, so here let's say I put this as a front door, so I would go zone type and then select entry delay. For entry delay, I have 2 types of entry delay: entry delay 1 and entry delay 2. So if we go in areas, we have, in timings, under timings. So here is my entry delay 1. In my case, this is unrealistic to have a 10-second entry delay, but this is because it's my test panel. So here you can have entry delay 1 be a 30 seconds, and entry delay 2 45 or 60 seconds. So if you have, let's say, one door is a front door and the other door is a garage door, and one of them has the keypad next to it, the other one, the keypad is a little bit farther and you need more time to get to it. So, or there's a secondary door, for example, and the keypad is behind the secondary door, so you need more time. So this is where you would use it. So here you define your entry delays, and then to use them in the zones, you would say, I want this zone to be an entry delay 1, and then let's say zone 3 would be my garage door, for example. So my garage door would be entry delay 2, as an example. Or if both have their keypads close enough, you can have them both as entry delay 1. It's totally up to you how you use this. Motion detector, it depends on how you want it set up. If, let's say, for an office or for a shop that has an area where the motion detector is, you're not expected to be, like, the motion detector is not near the entry door, so you're not you don't expect someone to be there with the system armed, so you can set it to instant. But if that motion is near an entry door, so you want it to be set to follow. So follow, it will give you some time, it will follow the entry delay, so it will give you some time to disarm the system. It will not it will pick you and the keypad will start beeping, but the alarm will not go off right away. If you have it set to instant, the siren will go off immediately once it picks up someone. So if you need more details on how to choose from this. This is the manual for the MG5050 or SP6000, the MG and SP series, and this is how this is where your definitions are. So for entry delay, for example, the entry delay will work in all three cases, whether it's stay armed, sleep armed, or fully armed. If we go to follow, the follow will follow the three types of arming. If you have follow, sleep, and full arm, so if you have your system stay armed, if you stay armed the system, then and you have your motion detector set to follow, sleep, and full arm, then in stay armed it will be ignored. So if the system is stay armed and someone walks in front of the motion detector, it's not going to activate the alarm. So people typically use this when they go to sleep. So sleep arm is kind of the same thing. So if you choose this option, so whether you choose stay or sleep armed, the motion detector will be ignored. Normally in a small house, for us at least, we use this option here. So, and we tell the customer they just use the stay arm, they don't use sleep arm. So it's up to you how you use it. You have the details here. If you need more information, you can check this page 16 of the manual and experiment with it to see what suits your situation. So going back to here, the next thing is, so we already spoke about instant. So again, if you go to instant, you can see here the same thing. If it's instant is always going to be armed with any type of arming. Instant, sleep, and full armed, it's not armed when it's stay arming, but it's armed in the other two situations. So again, it's the same thing. For us, we usually use instant. We use follow. Like instant would be for exit doors, like patio doors, like a rear door or a window, so nobody is expected to come through a window. So if it's opened, then it sets off the alarm right away. But we use this one for motion detectors. So the next thing is fire. So if you set it to instant fire, once the smoke detector is activated, it detects some smoke. It will trigger the alarm right away. So actually, when you're testing it, you will hear a click right away. So if you if you want to test this, you can put a wire across the zone and the common, and then you will hear a relay on the board goes click once you put that short. If you choose delayed fire, this is the option we use at houses because people sometimes are cooking and smoke comes up, and then if it's instant fire, then it's going to send the signal to the monitoring station right away, and then you have a problem. So the fire truck might show up on their door. Usually there's verification before they send anything, but sometimes the monitoring station calls in and the user doesn't recognize the number, so they don't answer, so they assume there's a fire, and then it's a huge disaster. So delayed fire will give you 30 seconds, will give them 30 seconds to disable the smoke detector. Like they can press the test button or the silence button on the smoke detector, and that will stop it, and then it will no longer trigger the zone on the panel. Yeah, so this is instant fire and delayed fire. These ones these ones are specialty. I never, like, I rarely use these, but heat is if you have a heat detector, or if you have water detector, like if there's a flood or freeze, so you'd have those sensors, and then you can choose those zones to from the list. Key switch momentary, if you've seen the my GSM video, this is one use of that option. The rest, I'll be honest with you, I don't use these very often, so I don't have anything to say about them. So this is as far as how you would program a zone on the panel. So if you have a ZX8 SP, unfortunately I don't have one, so you would select it. It would show here in the menu. If it doesn't appear in the drop down, you might have to do a module scan, but it should show here. Then you select it, so, and then you see here it shows the input number. So you see here 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is input number 3 on the ZX8, input number 4, input number 5. So depending on how you wired it. So if you wired your motion detector to zone 1, or let's choose one of the numbers I have here. So if you wired your motion detector to input number 3 on the ZX8, so you would select here. You can totally change them. I can't change them because I don't have an actual module, but you would select it here, and then you would select your zone type from here. Again, I'm not able to select it because I don't have it. And also you would select your area where that zone is supposed to go. You would select it from here. So this could be in area 2, or this motion detector could be in a common area, so it would be in both areas. So this is how you would do it. So I hope it's clear. It's not, like I said, I don't have the equipment, so I'm not able to show you, but I hope you get the idea. It's not that complicated. And of course, once you're done defining them, these numbers here are what goes to your monitoring station. So for my input 3 zone here, the zone is going to be 11, and so forth. So 11, 12, 13 until the next module. So if you have a wireless zone, so let's say if you have in my case I have an SP6000, so to have wireless zones I need an RTX3 wired to the bus line. So the red, black, green and yellow on the panel would go to the red, black, green and yellow on the RTX3. Then the address, the serial number of the wireless, the RTX3 would show here next to wireless. So you would select it. So this is going to be your zone 10, and then here you would put the serial number of the device that you're installing. So if you have a door contact, you would look at the serial number printed on the label of the door contact or on the motion detector or whatever, and then you would enter it here, and then you would select the type of zone and the other options that you normally would select, whether that zone is automatically going to shut down. I haven't mentioned this, but auto shutdown means if you haven't, like if the alarm goes off and nobody silences it, it will automatically turn off the siren after 5 minutes, I believe, unless this option is turned off. Of course, if the zone is triggered again, it will start off again. So for fire, they disable that. You can also turn it off for fire, so you cannot bypass a smoke zone. You can give that zone delay before transmission, so it doesn't send the signal right away. You can disable that from being forced. You cannot force arm that zone if it's open, and so on. So that's for these. So again, going back to wireless, so you would select you could select wireless and select your RTX3 zone. You can label the zone here as usual, and you can put the serial number of the door contact or the motion detector. Sometimes you will see on the serial number you'll see +1. So let's say, I don't know, the serial number is 1234, and then it says +1. So what you enter here would be 1235. So just keep that in mind when you see +1. You try to put the number +1. If it doesn't work, try without the +1, but that's how it usually is. So this is how you do it. So wireless, you can have as many wireless zones as you have, and this is the number that's going to go to the monitoring station. So it's going to be zone 11, 12, 10, 11, 12. So that's about it for this tutorial. I hope you found it useful. I hope I was able to communicate the message that I'm trying to explain to you. It's a little bit hard when you don't have the equipment, but sometimes you have to do it this way. Thank you again, and I hope to see you next time.